Hey there, YouTubers. Maybe at last I feel so glad that I can still walk and I can still survive to this day to make this YouTube video for all of you guys who have been showing such a multitude of kindness and support and warmth that, yes, to a large extent has managed to make my heart melt. Yeah, to have reversed the process of myself hardening my own heart, rejecting help, deleting contacts on WeChat. And I had to try my best to give you guys a bit of a summary of what happened today. Well, a lot had happened today, though most of what would have happened today, seems quite let's just say slightly more promising than at least the days before, just several days before, just before yesterday and the day before yesterday, even, since I've been experiencing a severe a highly intense degree or severity of panic attacks, suicidal thoughts, and picturing I use the kitchen knife to chop, to cut myself, to chop my grandma's forehead and any other people who just happen to get acquainted with. So it's a terrible experience, and it is ongoing. And to make the matters worse, I have utterly no idea how to set myself free, or at least ease such feeling of trauma plus guilt, because for the rest of my life thus far, I don't even I don't even picture myself as that kind of person who exhibit behaviors quite tantamount or synonymous with a terrorist. So it just by having those thoughts and had myself so indoctrinated, so deeply entrenched or in bed on those thoughts, or those thoughts I've had those thoughts so entrenched, so embedded onto myself. The fact already spells a huge amount of self-guilt, self-condemnation, and yes, they begin to make me think that I am experiencing symptoms that are more severe than just intrusive thoughts. But for this particular video, the main point I'm trying to convey to you guys is that I am not trying to terrorize you guys, or trying to trying to add more pity to myself for this video, because for this video I intend to spread a bit of more hope and more love, a bit of more positive energy that I usually take it so much for granted. And so I've often found myself asking questions like, why there's so much pain and suffering in this world, and why we have to work so hard just to keep ourselves financially afloat over bankruptcy, alienation, marginalization from the mainstream society, from the mainstream social sphere or sphere of socialization, etc. So why do we have to work so hard to just survive? Because well, I believe I talked about similar issues before in my previous videos on YouTube, but my speculation about such question has always been that the fall of man, beginning from Adam and Eve. Beginning at or beginning from. I have become such a control freak about worrying that I might just get wrong, when I speak or when I write, in the most recent days. But what I'm trying to say is that since Adam and Eve, we have lost the ultimate source of life, of longevity, of it, eternal life. Yeah, so that's why we have to struggle for survival, for self-preservation, and even sometimes more often than not at the cost of our own lives. Well, that might sound highly paradoxical. It sounds quite like a paradox. Why do we have to why do we have to try so hard to keep ourselves alive at the very cost of our own lives? So that sounds so stupid and paradoxical, but yet it is the truth. It is the harsh truth and difficult fact to just accept and acknowledge. But yes, for throughout my my period of suffering and struggles with suicidal thoughts and intrusive thoughts, etc. I always been considering the root cause of the suffering of the entire humanity. Even well before my exile / homelessness. So that's number one. That's reason number one I can think of so far why we have to live such a hard life on this planet we call the Earth. The second reason is I can think of is we are innately we were all born innately selfish. So just try to picture a scenario or an example, about you have some friends, you have some associates whom you consider to be your closest, your dearest. Can you imagine sharing the username and the password of your bank account with them? So at least I haven't been able to reach that level of generosity and kindness. Even for people, for certain dudes like me, whom tend to receive tend to receive, a huge amount of positive review about our own characters, portrayed to be highly generous or kind or a good guy, a typical image, a typical portrait of a good guy figure. Well, even for people like me, people like us, I personally haven't reached such level of generosity characterized by the brainless trust, where I can just hand over the credentials of my bank account to another friend, just to share the money, share the funds within such bank account. While I haven't reached that level yet, so I can't call myself someone that generous and that kind. Well, there was one occasion, that where I have my account in Australia, locked, probably because of my wild, my carelessness, where I just, I attempted to log in at a different location, so to speak, at my old man's office here in China. So and I attempted to log in just to check the files inside, but somehow it popped out a dialogue of a dialogue on the interface popped out, and sent a verification code to the phone associated with the account, and and yes, on that occasion I did happen to have placed the phone elsewhere, so that made that kind of somehow probably might somehow have triggered the protection mechanism, thereby having the account locked. And then I asked for help here and there, and I tried so hard, even by screaming at the staff who received my distress phone call, just pleading them to unlock it, well, but then I tried to then I asked for a friend back in Australia, and I shared the username, sorry, the login credentials with him, online, and he also tried, and it didn't work. So I had to cry to my old man. Well, it wasn't exactly crying to my old man, but you get the picture, you get the idea, So I and my old man and I, went for an adventure to Beijing, the branch, and and then managed to get it restored back to normal functionality. So that's the only one occasion where I shared bank the login credentials with someone else whom I perceived I could trust him, with the funds, with the credentials. So you see, sorry, it just got more sidetracked, but you get the idea, So so we are all born innately selfish. I don't even share the account credentials with my grandma, who apparently, raised me, so I can still be here, and talking to you guys, sharing about the things that's been going on me, and and whatnot. But so sorry. It's and I made some apologies to an associate of mine on WeChat. I had to apologize because I deleted him from WeChat, just to well, probably it was it occurred because of pride, not just sorrow, not just distress and grief, but also pride. Think at least I used to reckon I could just get by, I could just survive just fine without any friends, or without any social interaction, face to face. But today, or at least the day before yesterday, I came to realization that I can't survive that. I can't survive long enough without having to have any interactions with other human beings. And also yesterday, the symptoms, the suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideation, visualization, already kind of disproved or rebuked my my persistence on the notion that I could just survive and function like a normal human being without any contact with other human beings, either online or face to face, or both, or neither. So you get the idea. So wow, it's I suppose, life just has it just has a multitude of ups and downs, more or less here and there, and you just don't know where it goes, or where it comes from. Just quite I found it quite synonymous with the saying from the Bible, by Jesus, something like, the wind blows where it wishes, and yet you don't know where it came from or where it goes. So it is when the Holy Spirit enters you, something like that. That's the best. Probably that's the best analog. Probably that's the best analogy I can think of. Synonymous with the ideas, the notion I'm trying to convey to you guys here. But you get the picture. So, so probably making this video, grants me a bit of a more relief, if not more confidence and courage to face the future, to face tomorrow, to face what might happen tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, and the day after, and so on and so forth. Again, thank you very much for your guys' support and audience, and I shall let you guys know more about why I am still here, why I am still, not with my grandma yet. I shall let you guys know more about the underlying reasons and causes behind my homelessness / exile in the next couple of videos. Well, still, I did, once kind of plan to talk more about, the specifics, the further insights pertaining to those thoughts. But yeah, I will. I hope I will see you guys around next time on YouTube. And thank you again for watching and listening. And yeah, I have to get my dinner. It's actually the pancake. Let me show you. It's pancake. Some sort of Chinese pancake. Or just let me show you what it is, and we can call it a day for today. Oops. Let me show you what it is exactly. Here it is. The pancakes, which has some lettuce and sauce inside, and a piece of fish fillet, fried, probably deep fried, and yeah, a piece of fried or baked tofu. It looks kind of like crap, but it tastes all right. At least can fill my empty belly. So yeah. Thank you again for watching and listening. I hope to see you guys around in the next video on YouTube. Bye bye. Take care.